Well, we should be live now.
Hey, hello, interwebs, webs that enter the internet, our virtual folks. Welcome to the Oakland Poetry Slam virtual edition. My name is Reggie, and I will be your, as it says at the bottom, your dumb bitch host for the night. Anything dumb and bitchy, I will be here for. So we have an amazing lineup of poets. I am, personally speaking, really fucking excited for this feature. When I heard that they were featuring, I literally screamed and said, I'm going to host. So that's where we're at tonight. But we have an amazing lineup of poets. And I will read them out now before I forget to do it later. Our lineup of poets will be, I hope this is the order because I didn't pay attention when they said it earlier. Jackson, Mitchie Boo 77, Nicole Tracy, Chardonnay, Colin, Don, Kelsey Daniels, and Walks Between Worlds. Oh my goodness. I'm really excited for this list. But as always, with every slam, with every competition, with every space, with life in general, there are always rules. First, for the poets, yes, you have rules. No props, no costumes, no musical accompaniment, no nudity. We do not want to see your genitals. This is not the right website for that. I'm sure they have streaming ones, but we're not that one. But more importantly than, not getting our live stream taken down is the time limit. Poets have 3 minutes with a grace period of 10 seconds to spit one original poem. After 3 minutes in that grace period of 10 seconds, you will be deducted points by our scorekeeper, Young Tino. After 4 minutes, you will be muted and I will have to come back up on stage when I am totally not ready and awkwardly recover, and I'll probably be mid-drink or something and choke and die, and then we'll all have to come to my funeral and be like, wow, Reggie really died like a dumb bitch that couldn't breathe. So to avoid me the embarrassment in hell, please do not go over 4 minutes. Speaking of points, the judges, y'all have some guidelines too. Thank you so much for judging, first of all, but you have some rules. First, you're gonna give every poet a score from a 0.0 to 10.0 scale. 0.0 is the worst piece of shit you ever heard in your life. It's like garbage inside of trash, inside of refuse, inside of litter, inside of junk, and then all wrapped up in your childhood trauma and shipped off to your children. Hey, yeah, we are unpacking a lot today. A 10 is the best thing you have ever heard in your life. It's like diamonds inside of gold, inside of silver, inside of platinum, inside of that good set of genitals that really set you right after your mid-20s hoe phase. If you haven't had your mid-20s hoe phase, I mean, something to look forward to. Point being, there's not a lot of zeros, there's not a lot of tens. Score accordingly. Not be dying. God, somebody already went over 4 minutes. Score accordingly. There's this thing called score creep where as the night goes on and you may or may not, getting a little smiz, getting a little drizz, the poetry starts sounding better. But that's not fair to the people who went first when you were sober and vibeless. So to help you out, we will have a sacrificial poet. They are not competing, but you will score them as if they are. Think of them as a calibration. So any poems you like more, score them higher. Any poems you don't like as much, score them lower. All right. And then finally, for you at home, yes, you have rules too. I'm sorry, if the government can break into your life and tell you what to do, then so can I. I need you to take whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram, and give us a follow, give us a like, give us a share, let your homies know about us. We do shit between the like 4 or 5 shows that we run. Jesus, I've lost count at this point. We do things once a week. You should know about that. You should stay solidly tapped into what we are doing around the Bay and online, so you can stay tapped in and earn your chance to win prize money for your art. Lit. And then I need y'all to make sure that y'all show love in the comment section, whether it's here on Zoom, whether it's on any of our virtual platforms. It is mad dry in a fucking Zoom room. And I don't know about the rest of the poets, but I do go back and look at the comment section. And I love seeing all of the nice things and the wonderful praise that you have for the poets. It really warms my cold, dead, unfeeling heart. So please, please, please show love in the comment section. We do sometimes share the love that you give in the comments here on Zoom. So yeah, it really is nice to see what y'all have to say, but don't be a dick because we Black people. All love, all positive vibes. We have a God of the live stream, and they will smite you, and as they should. Don't be a hater. This is a no hating zone. And speaking of zones, this is also a freedom of speech zone, which means we do not censor poets. Everyone has their own original views and can come up here and say and express those views in whichever way they please. However, freedom of speech does not mean freedom from the consequences of something that you said or did. So if you say or do something fucked up, I will let you know. We'll have a conversation. We'll handle it. If you hear something fucked up, if you want to have a conversation with the poet, I just ask that it happens respectfully and off channel, and not via unmuting yourself and interrupting poems, because just because one person says something fucked up doesn't mean that the next person needs their poem interrupted. So yeah, and if you need help with any of those conversations, holla at ya dumb bitch. I may be dumb, but I am a conflict mediator. That was not a good endorsement, but
conflict mediator.
Part-time conflict mediator, part-time dumb bitch. Wow. Or is it full-time? Find out next time on Reggie Needs a Job. But lit, I think that is all of the rules. So are we ready to start the show?
Woo! I am.
I mean, woo! I heard one person ready to start the show.
Let's go poets.
Dry ass Zoom.
All right, we have a bunch of people and a rogue AI saying that they are ready to start the show. But before we begin, we do need our sacrificial poet. Someone to get the judges ready for poetry. Everybody say spill the blood. I'm imagining you saying spill the
blood.
And give it up for your sacrificial poet, Reggie.
Woo!
It's me again. Can you hear me?
Indeed.com.
Yes.
Find a job that will break your heart.
Oh my goodness. All right. This is new shit.
New shit.
Oh shit.
Content warning for depression and suicidal ideation. Hi, I'm sadness. Not like off myself depression, but I do cry into margaritas that I know I won't finish. I get drunk at parties and dance alone until someone calls me gorgeous or a hot mess. I take 3 shots before throwing up in the bathroom and then smile because I'm losing weight. Hip bones sharp enough to become weapons, I'm dangerous this way. Addicting, really. I'm so stunning, even my blood has to leave the room for some fresh air. So hot, even my own skin opened its legs for me. See how a wound can split open into two halves of a broken heart and still look sexy. I am a riot at family gatherings. I scream half mad at my mother until my throat is raw and gushing out of my mouth. I curse the empty chair where a father could be. My brother can become any monster or savior I need. Where's my fucking blunt? I need something to work up an appetite so the ghost of my grandmother stops following me around with pill bottles and chicken salad sandwiches. Did I mention that I can see dead people? Every time I look in the mirror, I see my own rotting eyes staring back at me. I see other things as well, things that burn or cut or bruise the way I like it, scars and other small messages to my future self. You know, once I stood at the top of a very tall building and I imagined I could fly right off of it. I grew feathers and wings and my bones hollowed out until I became a weightless thing, an apparition of a bird. I was 2 steps from insanity before I came to my senses. I told you, I'm not that kind of depressed. I just flirt with the idea of guns and heights and other things I should be deathly afraid of. I swipe right on suicide and ghost her after a couple messages. I am a fuckboy. I stick my dick wherever it's welcome, and I know that's crazy, but a warm body can be salvation when your heart is just so cold. I have iron deficiency is the excuse I use to explain my icy fingers, but truth is, I haven't had a full meal in days. That's why I'm starving for touch. That's why I devour body after body. Call me a graveyard or the club on a really wild night when the music's loud and I can't hear the voice in my head screaming, you stupid fucking bitch. One day, I wanted to die, and then I popped an Adderall and tripped on shrooms. I'm really good at self-medicating. I'm really bad at loving myself. It's a secret I've kept for a very long time, but it's okay. You don't have to worry about me. I've talked myself off of every ledge I've ever found myself teetering on. I'm not that depressed, remember, just a little sad on the weekends. Give it up for your sacrificial poet.
Hey, 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 hey.
I don't know who they are, but they were kind of cute. It's almost as if they're about to get married. Wow. Judges, I need you to send your scores on over to the scorekeeper, Tino Lit. Judges, that was your first poet. You are experts on poetry. You know what you're looking for, you know what you want. I mean, it's just like how after you dated your first boyfriend, girlfriend, them friend, you knew exactly what you wanted. And like, you never made a bad choice ever again. Audience, you see how dumb that fucking sounds? They don't know shit. And that's why I need your help. I need you to get in the comment section and just let these judges know exactly how you feel about these poems. You need to give maximum love. You need to praise. You need to quote lines. You need to be like Shakespeare in this bitch. Like just ride or die. Like that's your motherfucking mama. Anything in order to encourage these judges to make the correct decision. Judges, I know I'm gonna sound like them shitty dare lessons that you went through, but do not cave into peer pressure. These aren't even your peers. You are above the nonsense because you were hand chosen to be the arbiters of this slam. I muted myself. I'm such a dumb bitch. Please don't take anything that I say to these people seriously, but do take what I tell you seriously. And that is that your voice matters and only you can make sure that these poets get the scores that they deserve. All right.
Okay, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires. All right. Lit. We had our sacrificial poet. We had a rant. Now we are ready to start this show, which means on deck, we have Mitchy Boo 77. So not now, but coming up next. But give maximum love to our first poet competing in the slam. Give it up for Jackson.
Hey, everybody. So I didn't write anything. This is all just riffing, because that's how my brain works sometimes. Fuck my depression. Like, seriously, fuck my depression. I survived the pandemic. I survived it with friends and lovers and family and everything else, but fuck my depression. Actually, I need to make friends with my depression. My depression isn't all bad. It's given me some things, like the time to stop and hurt and be in pain and start to forgive myself for the pain I'm in. The worst part about depression is that I feel bad for having my depression, which then makes me sadder because I have depression and it takes even longer to heal. If I learn to treat myself like a friend, I can survive a lot better. If I could show myself the kindness and love that I show everybody I love, I would be better. I can only start healing when I can forgive myself. So I forgive myself for my depression. It's not my fault I have depression. It's not my fault I have depression. It's not my fault I have depression. And it's not my fault that I'm still here. Actually, it is my fault I'm still here. I fight every goddamn day against my depression. Most people walk through life one foot in front of the other, and I'll roll through life two fists in front of the other. And I'm so fucking tired of fighting my depression. I want to make friends with my depression, give my depression a hug. So I did the exercise a friend told me to do, which is imagine your younger self. Have a conversation with your younger self, hug your younger self. And when I thought about it, I never thought I would live this long. So the only thing my younger self would say to me is, holy shit, bro, you're still here? I'm shocked. And the tragedy of living this long is that I realized I'm not anywhere close to being dead yet. And I got to get comfortable with how long life is. And when you've lived with depression as long as I have, that is the scariest thing in the world. Dying young is a comforting thing, like the way everyone my age thought we would live to see the apocalypse, as if we were so important that the world couldn't possibly live on without us. But the truest apocalypse for anyone our age is that, yes, we will die and the world doesn't give a fuck. The world's gonna keep right on rolling and we're not that important. But there's a fucking beauty in that. I am not that important, and that's fucking beautiful. I get to exist. I get to forgive myself. I get to make art, make love, and make the world a little bit brighter just by being my fucking self. I forgive myself for who I am because I'm actually dope as fuck. And sometimes I hate myself, but that's actually a good thing. I think depression is just an inoculation against sociopathy. And I'll say that again. I think depression is the evolutionary inoculation against sociopathy because I have never met someone with crippling depression who wasn't also a beautiful, wonderful soul. So if you have depression and if you're struggling today, I want to reach my arms out and say, I love you. It's going to get better. It's going to get worse again. It's going to get better. It's going to get worse again. Life doesn't get better. The only constant is change. But that means if you keep rotating, life will get better again. Life will get worse again. You're going to be okay. And life is way worse with fewer people who love you. And I'm here because of how many people love me. I recognize that I'm amazing. And the thing that makes me amazing is how fucking hard it is to keep my head up. I am tired all the time. I am struggling every day and I'm still here, and I laugh at the pain because when I got hit, I laugh. And when I fall down, I laugh. And when life hurts, I laugh because living well is the best revenge. And if I'm trying to get revenge on the fact that I exist, the best way to get revenge on the fact that I exist is to enjoy life as much as I can. And on the days where I am super fucking depressed, I reach out for my friends because being of service to others is the greatest way to actually have adult happiness. So be of service to those you love. Help them when they're hurting. And find your own happiness in showing people how to find their own happiness.
Gang, 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 gang. Give it up for Jackson. Do I have the score?
What's that?
26.8. And your sacrifice got a 26.8. Give it up for the poet, never the points. The poet, never the points. All right. So, I'm gonna pretend like I had my list out and ready to announce the next poet. On deck, we have Nicole Tracy. But give maximum love to our second poet coming up in the slam. Give it up for Mitchie Boo 77.
I'm not good at the game charades, acting out a phrase. I guess I'm not sufficient, but it does seem to be an absurd appearance, dying of a broken heart syndrome in the land where the #1 killer of women and men is heart disease. That's before cancer, COVID, chronic respiratory ash to ease. And yes, I can't breathe to think accident, strokes, diabetes don't cut your gaze on how we mostly send our children to the grave. Shards of life we pick up and slice our fingers over. Mirrored America. Tiny specks of glass sprayed over a class. Mirrored America. Oh, say, can you see? Twilight's last gleaming. In 2020, our hindsight claimed the lives of 4,357 aged 1 through 19. That's 4 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7. That equals 19, right? Nope, you're wrong. There's been over 300 mass shootings just this year. See, our schools drill for the active shooter. And silly too, because who knows the drills better than the active shooter? I mean, Splinter went on them and he paid attention. Meanwhile, rush under a desk to face our deaths, America the brave. I said, meanwhile, rush under a desk to face our deaths, America the brave. 27 education homes sprayed with bullets. That's 27 school shootings for 2022. That's almost triple 2020s. Wait, there were school shootings during the year we were shut down for the pandemic. Swiss cheese, America. See, we've tweezed each splintering memories of those lost from our fingers as we let them slip away from changing our ways. And y'all don't seem to get the picture. I mean, this charade of rights keeps me indifferent. I mean, the math don't math right. Since there are 67 million more guns in America than people. I said there are 67 million more guns here than people. So who has the rights to fear? Obsessive, over aborted, quadruple suicide attempts distorted. You can't kill you. That's for US to do. Sold 2 AR-15s and over 600 bullets to someone who just turned 18. I'm sure he won't hurt nobody. Surging the blood, uncontrollable stress. I mean, who's got anxiety? Gruesome grief, guilted, Ooh, mental health alerts, cries of hurt, wishing those shards of life we could place back together. I'm just sitting around wishing we would stand together. But America, it's not ours. It's those other people's, those corporations that be needing us people. Rights, it's not ours, America. Is that the phrase? I told y'all I'm bad at charades. Woo!
Gang, motherfucking gang. Give it up one more time for Mitchie Boo 77.
Woo!
Gang. All right. And for reference, after a time penalty, fuck linear time, Jackson got a 22.1. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet and never the points. The poet and never the points. All right. Before we continue, I gotta give a shout out. It takes a lot to run not only the Oakland Poetry Slam, but also the Berkeley Poetry Slam, which is every week, the Alchemy Open Mic and the Poetry Garden Showcase. It takes a lot. And while we have a great team of committee members, organizers, volunteers, educators that put this together, none of us have money. None of us have money like this. None of us can pay for this shit. And that is why we are really thankful for our supporters on Patreon. For the last 2.5 years, they have really been holding it down, making sure that we can do everything from pay our features to pay our poets. Our Patreon subscribers are the reasons that all poets get into our in-person show for free. They are the reason that we were able to double our prize money at Berkeley Slam. They're the reason we're able to do the dope shit that we do. So I want to give a few people a shout out in particular. We have Renee Edmonds, Stephanie Yaboa, Emily Chow, and Calla Lily. Thank you so much for being regulars. Thank you to Jessica Kozakic for sponsoring one of our weekly workshops. And of course, I have to give a special risk it for the biscuit to Alice Grimm and Rebecca Abraham for pledging $100 a month in support of one of our venues, the Allen Bluford Center. Yeah, if you like what you hear today, if you want to give back, if you want to help us build this platform for local and virtual artists, you can go to patreon.com/richoakevents to support us on a monthly basis. You can donate anywhere from $2 a month to $100 a month. All of it goes back into running these programs and making sure that we can not only support our artists and create a platform, but also pay our artists and create an artistic economic basis for our community. Lit. Now, back from the commercial break. We have a few more poets to go. I can't count, so I'm going to just say a few more poets each time. But on deck, we have Chardonnay. But give maximum love for our next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Nicole Tracy.
Woo!
Mic check.
We can hear you.
I can hear you.
New shit.
Ooh, shit.
Top 10 reasons Asians are good at math after Natalie Diaz. 1, the lunar calendar makes so much more sense and is so much easier to follow than the Gregorian calendar. 2, it is not just math. We dominate any professional field that requires you to wear a suit. Our ancestors spent years of discomfort building your railroad system. Our grandparents spent years of discomfort in a forced labor camp. And now they require us to carry that pain and discomfort in business formal attire. 3, have you seen the American education system? It's not just Asians who are good at math. 4, it's not just math, it's also science and language arts and English and social studies and geography. 5, we all look the same, so we must all be good at the same things. 6, Asian schoolgirl is one of your biggest fantasies, which means we never left school, so there is no chance for us to forget anything we've learned. 7, Asia runs your production, so we better be good at math. We need to know exactly what we are owed. 9, our bra size is inverse to our math skills. 8, see how bad I am at math? I can't even count. 10, the whites needed a justification to like a minority, put us up on a pedestal to divide us. So this time they idolize what they don't understand instead of fearing it.
Gang, 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 gang.
Yeah, boy.
Give it up for Nicole Tracy. All right. So it looks like after another time penalty, Mitchie Boo got a 21.3. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet, never the points. The poet and never the points. All right, we are going to keep chugging along. On deck, we have Colin, but give maximum love for the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Chardonnay.
Gang, 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 gang.
Woo!
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I hate the phrase trust issues, characterized by fears of abandonment or betrayal or manipulation. The implication that my fears are unwarranted. 3 decades of only being hurt by the people I trust the most is just something I should get over. The first and longest friendship I had was with a woman determined to be my only friend. 8 years of sabotage and ruined birthdays. The best friendship I had, despite the distance, was with a non-man who gaslit me into my second suicide attempt on my birthday over a man. The most recent was a man who coerced me into rape. But when I say I trust men more than non-men, I mean no man has ever hurt me in a way I didn't suspect him capable of. The patriarchy has non-men in a chokehold, stabbing each other for a chance to breathe. How many femmes in my life carried a knife for protection against men, only to use it against me when they thought I threatened their relationship with a man? The answer, far more than the one who used that knife to hurt a man. So the difference between a gun in my face and a knife in my back is the ability to see who wants me dead or complicit. A man holds a gun, promising not to shoot if I follow orders. Femme hides the knife, waiting for me to be vulnerable, off guard. A friend once said, I ain't never met a bitch who chose her friend over a nigga when the opportunity arose. When I say I don't have trust issues, I mean, I only trust you to be human. I mean, I only trust you to fail sometimes, but somehow trust issues are my burden to bear. Bearing my soul to bitches is a bigger threat than showing my ass to men has ever been. Most people aren't worthy of trust. They abuse and then accuse me of having an issue, talk behind my back, claiming you'd say it to my face, and blame me when you haven't said a damn thing to me. So I treat people like a locked gun. The safety is on, but they aren't.
Woo!
Gang, gang, gang. Give it up for Chardonnay. Hey, hey. All right. Do I have my scores? No, you did not. You don't be DMing me nothing. So while I'm waiting for the scores, wow. This has been a good first round so far. I'm really excited to see the second half of the first round. But let me tell you why this first round is so good. It's because like we have a workshop where people, you know, have been going to and writing and getting like advice and shit. We have a workshop before our show via Zoom every third Tuesday at 7 p.m. PST. And it is $3.99 minus the tax. So like, it's free. Like you should go. It's lit. Either an organizer or somebody from the community. Sometimes a feature will do a workshop. It's just a really great space to have discipline write. I know that I can't write unless someone tells me to. So it's just a really good space to create and get feedback and to get outside of your comfort zone in a space where we're all writing and healing and doing the same thing. Lit. And I have my scores. It looks like Nicole Tracy got a 27.9. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. Never the points, the poet, and never the points. All right. On deck, we have Don. We give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Colin.
Best friend.
Can you hear me?
Indeed.com.
Yes.
People say I smoke way too much weed for a nigga with asthma. But my whole city has a smoking habit. Everyone in my neighborhood got lungs heavy with smog and sickness, asthma. Got all my niggas chained to the ground and the herb got them lifted. Albuterol, the most common strain we got in rotation. Puff, puff, pass, all our drugs prescription here. My city likes to look at San Rafael across the water. We say something's wrong with them. They live in a carefree bubble. Must be something in the air and it smells like privilege, and privilege smells like clean oxygen. The way the grass is always greener on the other side of the bridge because over there, even the plants breathe a little bit better. Meanwhile, Richmond's been smoking as long as there's been bodies to burn for fuel. As long as the refineries and shipyards needed families to swallow whole, smoke is our heritage and inheritance. How do you think niggas got here in the first place? There is no history of deeply rooted blackness in my city. Most families still got living generations that remember being uprooted from places like Texas, Alabama, Arkansas. The local refinery lured most of our grandparents out of the deep South with promises of wealth from the oil trade. World War II brings even more job opportunities working in the shipyards, and that's when Richmond becomes a black city. When niggas could work an 80-hour work week and only get paid in asbestos. Asthma, mesothelioma. My people came here to poison themselves out of poverty, to leave a legacy for future generations, just to help fill the air with the same toxins that will kill their children. My grandmother's last will and testament, a puff of smoke. My inheritance is an oxygen mask, a stuttered breath, a city of purple haze skies and lungs gasping for breath. So tell me, how much more do you think this one blunt can hurt? How many joints ever put me in the hospital? Don't you know my lungs can hold more smoke than a Swisher can produce? Believe me, I've had this cough before I had the habit. I've spent most of my life wheezing. Be glad that I'm smoking this gas instead of their gas. This is, after all, the cleanest breath I have ever taken.
Gang, 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 gang. The me song? From the Nintendo Wii? Nobody? Okay. Thank you. Gang, 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 gang. Gang, 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 gang. Give it up for Colin. All right. And for reference, Chardonnay got a 28.5. 5. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet and never the points. The poet and never the points. All right. He said, on deck, we have Kelsey Daniels. But give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Dawn.
Sound check 1 2 1 2. Sound check 1 2 1 2.
We can hear you.
We can hear.
Medusa lives inside of my mouth, creates Greek mythology every time I speak. My tongue coils around vocabulary, leaves a lie inside of every syllable. My saliva is venom. Infect your nose to hear my words. My tongue makes sense, and sense all sound the same. Makes conjoined twins out of the English language. In middle school, my mouth was more than an interruption. Disability sent to speech classes, tongue would tie around words instead of letting them breathe. Yet that class never loosened its grip. My peers would make fun of my list, call me Daffy Duck the way the anatomy will overwhelm the vocabulary, call me slow, call me lazy, tongue, repeating words as if I was auditioning for a spelling bee. The older this tongue grew, the bigger the stereotype became. They say a man with a lisp keeps a rainbow underneath his tongue. To find out his sexuality, just have him say a word with an S or a Z in it. A speech impediment turns sexuality identifier, as if they ain't never heard a woman with a lisp before straight until proven dickly. I find it funny that straight men enter queer business as if they ever say, and what this mouth do, act as if we ever ask them permission to be ourselves. We don't ever ask that they mind their damn business that they never do. Because straight men been standard, been acceptable in heterosis cultures to heterosis black men, they'll queer bodies into the fire, use respectability politics to tell us to wait our turn, tell us that Lil Nas X's music is doing too much because their children will get a list that his music videos will turn their children to stone, yet none of Trina's videos snatch the list out of my mouth. This list enters the room before I do. Makes me self-conscious around how I speak, so around straight people, I deepen my voice. Because queer people have been conditioned to make everybody feel comfortable. Us, me, frustrated with saying this poem because of all the S's, Z's, and TH's inside of it. And I try to shed my list, y'all. But my mouth remains a snake charmer, and just like Medusa, I've seen men hunt and kill snakes all because God told them to. See men hurt and abuse and kill queer people for just existing. That homophobia has been more toxic than the venom this mouth has ever produced, has burned, has singed. Yeah, people decided that this mouth sucks dick the moment it couldn't say snake all because it has a lisp. And I think about all the queer black boys with a snake in their mouth and a rainbow underneath their tongue, surviving stereotypes. And I pray that their lisp turns these men to stone.
Fuck it up.
Gang, 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 gang. Give it up for Dawn. Scorekeeper?
I sent it to you already.
You sent me 2 scores, didn't you? Oh, that's Chardonnay score. And then the one after is Colin. Exactly. Okay. Good. One of them wasn't labeled. I was a little confused. As you can see, I am your dumb bitch host, not your smart bitch host. That's somebody else in a different month. Sorry. But for reference, Colin got a 28.0. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. Poet and never the points. All right. Can you tell that my phone closed out the list? That's fun. We're back. Fuck technology. On deck, we have Walks Between Worlds, But give maximum love to our next poet coming up in the first round. Give it up for Kelsey Daniel.
Yo.
Let's go.
Y'all hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
It's what Kelsey would have wanted. A quick guide for how to handle my existence when I leave, because I can't leave shit up to chance. I see y'all did Jesus. 1, the imagery. I bring it to you every profile picture. Don't do no sanitized shit, okay? I am too fly to be forever memorialized in a stiff-ass headshot. This is a celebration of life, not LinkedIn. If you must, put me in some clouds, make that shit editorial, like I am in on the joke. Stunning on holes from beyond. Photoshop that sickening picture from my 30th birthday in my mama's front yard, where I'm in that cream gauze pants and beige bralette into sunset, with orange around my belly peeking through the horizon, or better yet, picture me standing on a stolen beach in this body that has been attempted to save. Now, again, you don't have to be there to know that a cacophony of loud ass laughter is falling out of these bare lips. You see the jiggle and the thrown back hand, and just know this is a case study in free Black. This is what the children call a mood. 2, the program. Give the unchurched churchy party of the century. Open up with a New Orleans bounce version of I Was Here by Beyonce, because twerking to my birthday sister is a no fucking brainer. 2, have somebody come and do some good singing. All the alto hits that baby Kelsey got her life to during Macedonia days, like I Shall Wear a Crown and Victory and Melody from Heaven. And then after the eulogy, go ahead and play Back That Ass Up and have everybody throw it in a circle in my memory. My homegirls have been tasked with playing the role of community auntie hype queen in my app, and let Fuck It Up ring through the church house in your hearts forevermore. 3, don't make me no hashtag or slogan. Word to Toby. Let me rest. I was a social justice warrior's nightmare in life, and I revoked consent in advance for the polite zombification of my story. I did enough labor on this side to last in lifetimes. Let me kick it in heaven in peace. 4, for the love of me, keep me in the story. If you try to all lives matter my legacy, I will haunt you. Don't you MLK me. Gatekeep this shithole. Let them know I was a nigga who loved her reflection, a fat who delighted in their flesh, a queer who had no doubt that she was divine, a whole ass human 5. Dream a little dream for me. Marvel at a good cloud and get lost at a watery sunset. Know that I knew magic before I met it. TLDR. How I wish to remember it in death is directly tied to how I access my freedom in life, and she ain't ever going to be or was. And she's here, and she's here, and she's fucking here.
Gang, 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 gang. Gang, 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 gang. Give it up for Kelsey Daniel. All right. And for reference, Don got a 28.3. Fuck the scores, give it up for the poet and not the points. The poet and not the points. All right. On deck, we have our feature. I'm so fucking excited for this feature. We'll get into why later. But give maximum love for our last poet coming up in the first round. Give it up for Walks Between Worlds.
Gang, 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 gang.
Mic check.
We hear you.
Do I want to pass, or do I want to excel, or survive and be a former shell? There's a beast in me, that's why I'm happy I found my bell. I'm throwing my pennies down a well, hoping this bag of change increases the probability, the possibility of life being a little more cordial, because these bad memories keep my teenage self immortal. Never dying like a chronic illness, stuck in time with its eerie stillness. Will I ever move on? I guess it's time to cast these feelings in the fire where they belong. I remember when we first met in the lodge where I did my first sweat, and I smelled the steam getting hotter as the rocks became reinstated, gasping for air that was low and H2O evaporated. Is that what my past relatives did to let go of what made man resentful? My hierarchy of needs hitting the lowest of levels, forgetting about the alcohol my mother ushered and how I wanted to murder my undead middle brother, break breaking my arms around the throat to hear him croak, evaporation being the only thing I smoke, the only substance that I'm taking tokes, because I'd rather be taking notes, comparing our leaders to Diet Cokes that couldn't hold the flame, because they repeat and sound the fucking same. What a shame that I must be the weird one. I must be the dog getting the hell out of Dodge, but these feelings are left in the lodge to be buried in unmarked burial site. They can call me the red man, but tonight's the night where me, myself, and I can truly be honest, had hip hop and poetry eloped to be monogamous, protecting it as I rise from my sarcophagus. In any time period to send a myriad of curses through my pyramid as explorers try to clutch my pearls. I'm the one who walks between worlds. I want to see my journey painted like a mural, watch my phrases break from cages as the tongue curls, because I'm walking back and forth between worlds. And I speak because the worlds don't follow the deceased or departed as they weigh my organs to see if I'm too heavy-hearted. Words are remembered and stay trapped on earth where they were birthed, like the spirits of the unrestful who committed vengeful and detestable acts of malice, but mine will be rugged and pure like the water in a chalice. And I'm not Alice, because my wonderland is rap battles and poetry slams with thunder hands that make ripples when I write, make symbols in my sight, feelings of safety when the dark is lifted by the light. And I feel the rapport in the vocal cord, and they asking what I'm walking towards. I said I'm visiting another realm, traveling like a captain at the helm. There's only a couple poets left, the last generation speaking into my ear when I'm stressed, to try and enlighten, to never frighten, but they might massacre your boy like a herd of bison with the history that's been whitened. And I only see resistance in my horizons against the cloaked hoods, living a life our lineage never could. Those were sacrifices that they understood. So I want the next realm to have less of the problems I've been juggling. I want a realm where I don't see my friends struggling with thankless work and barren promises from the people up in offices that could never hold a burning flame to what you survived and accomplished. I am truly astonished. You are loved and lauded. You deserve to be applauded. So with you, I sign this realm's resignation, a separation like a church and state, a blank slate without the downward spirals and swirls. Now, will you walk with me in between worlds?
Gang, 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 gang. Correct. Give it up one more time for Walks Between Worlds. Woo! Hey. All right, wow. That was our first round. Now that it's over, I can finally comment. Goddamn. I do not envy the judges, like at all. I don't think I'd be intelligent enough to be able to judge this poetry slam. So I hope you judges are smart. But yes, we are about to have we're about to have our feature, but I can stall for you in a sec. If you need some time, I can stall for like a little bit, like 2 minutes. Lit. Walks Between Worlds got a 27.4. Fuck the scores, give it up for the poet, never the points, the poet, and never the points. Wow. What's tomorrow? Oh my goodness. While I'm stalling for our feature, let me know. Okay. I think our feature is back. I'm so fucking good. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm really fucking excited. I'm also kind of sad because, like, quite honestly, I really want you to feature at Berkeley Slam. So like we can finally meet in person, because like Sulva is one of my favorite people that I have met since doing virtual shows. Like, I'm gonna read their bio in a second, but I have to say something personal because, wow. From the first time that they came up on the stage, I was like, you're a really fucking good poet. Like, a really fucking good poet. Also, they will live on in infamy for being one of 3 people in my entire 5-year career of hosting this shit to ever have me fucking gagged. Just unable to speak. And a haiku, no less. A haiku. Earlier today, they made like a comment on one of the jokes that I had, and I like if you heard me stutter at the beginning, it's because I was once again fucking gagged. And it was the same damn joke. All around, great person. All around, very, very talented, dare I say, skilled writer. I'm really excited to have them on this stage tonight. I did low-key, maybe not did it, but like I imagined myself doing it. I imagined myself having to do it. I was like, if I have to bully someone in order to be able to host tonight, I will, because super excited for this. But let me read this bio, if my phone can turn back on. Sulva, they them pronouns, is a disabled Pakistani Muslim queer neurodivergent poet centered in Scarborough, Ontario. They began stemming in Toronto in 2018, and since then, Sulva has been a national finalist as a wild card entry in both the Canadian Festival of Spoken Word and the Canadian Individual Poetry Slam. Ooh. They have been invited to perform for the Hillside Film Festival, the Wordspell series finale, and many other events across Canada. Sulva has found the most peace in their career behind the scenes editing poetry for publications and performers. Their debut chapbook, Hello, My Name is Other, published by Moon Jelly House, is set to be released in 2023. Let me get the pre-sale link. I need y'all to unmute yourselves, give a wonderful, loud, welcoming, ratchet round of applause for your feature tonight. Give it up for Sulva.
Hi. Now I'm scared. I don't want to not live up to the hype. Okay, I can do this. Okay. That was so sweet. The fuck? Okay, I'm okay. I can do this. Also, the moment that Reggie was referring to, so this joke isn't gonna land if I do it after my set, so I have to do it before because it's funny. Yeah, it's hot. It has to do a haiku. And my haiku, let's see if I can remember it. My mother is gone. My girlfriend put down, no, my partner puts down her dog. That's 2 dead bitches. That was that. So I'm just gonna let that sit because the rest of my set is kind of sad. I feel like I need to give that joke some space. Okay, so I have contrapuntals and I have 3 of them. And I shit. I wrote them originally for Toronto Poetry Slam finals because there was 3 rounds that year. And I didn't make it past the first round. So I never got to do all 3 in one night. Thank you guys so much. Okay. All right, stop it. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna do these contrapuntals. Also a contrapuntal is I don't know the science definition, but it's stanzas, and then each individual stanza is its own poem, but it's written next to another stanza, and then when you read it across, it's a new poem. That's what these are. And the first one is 3 stanzas, and the next one is 3 stanzas, and the last one is 4 stanzas. I'm so winded. I got high and when you think it's gonna it is helping with the anxiety, but I'm wow, I'm winded. Okay, let me just drink water real quick. Oh my god, why was I drowning? Okay, that's deep. All right. Okay. I'm nervous. I can do this though, because I've done poems. Have I done? Yeah, I have. I'm gonna get into it. This happens every time I try to do anything. Clench my ass and I'm do I do it? But I'm already here. I literally have to do it. I'm here. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna get into it. I can do this. I should put you down though, I think. All right, that works. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna do my poems now. Thank you. Okay. guys can hear me, right? Like, imagine I was talking the whole time, you couldn't hear shit. It's like muted.
We can hear you.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm gonna do this now. I can do this. Okay. As a child, clutching the crumpled candy-coated wrapping in my pockets, sucking on the last handful of sour, swallowing until sweetness taking over my searing tongue. I can no longer stomach the taste once comforting. Suppression of appetite, unfolding hunger a stranger, disorder at the gum line. For each of their teeth, their trauma restraining mine, I am choosing to spit out survivor's guilt, to renounce, to nurture, capturing my body no longer starving. Still hiding. Pages torn from soft pedal books on the chronology of every abduction searching for me. Self-righteous men pillaging my name for spice. The punchline becomes the blandness, almost innocence, sincerity, and bipartisan virtue. Friends discovering benefits. My forefathers a soft blanket, preservation of purity, but I am to thank the predators, chewing slow enough for me to leap from their jaws. They chose to spare my body, what's left of victimhood, the map, its betrayal, saving my life. From ancestry, my mother's albums, forgiveness without apology, backhanded gifts glossing over the way I'm still here. From my blood, its bitterness, smiling through my grandmother's lips, translating my grandfather's silver spoon legacy of another good man. After dividing Punjab, coercive conversion, Bach enough to be spared in the split, my foremothers caught between shifting the paradigm to bear the weight of collective survival, smooth out the creases, stitching my lineage. Releasing with unwashed hands, the refraction of photographs are framed to answer their prayers. As a child still hiding from ancestry, clutching the crumpled pages torn from my mother's albums, candy-coated soft pedal books on forgiveness without apology, wrapping the chronology of backhanded gifts in my pockets, every abduction searching for me, glossing over the way I'm still here, sucking on self-righteous men, pillaging for the last handful of my name, for my blood. It's sour, spice, bitterness, swallowing until the punchline, smiling through sweetness, becomes my grandmother's lips, taking over the blendness, translating my almost innocence, my grandfather's searing sincerity, silver tongue and spoon legacy. I can no longer stomach the bipartisan virtue of another good man. Aftertaste, once friends discovering benefits, dividing Punjab, comforting my forefathers grooming children, suppression of appetite, a soft blanket, coercive conversion, unfolding hunger to stranger, preservation, Bach enough to be spared in disorder of purity. Split at the gum line, but I am to thank my foremothers for each of the predators caught between their teeth, chewing slow, shifting their trauma enough for me to leap from the paradigm, restraining their jaws to bear the weight of mine. They chose collective survival. I am choosing to spare my body, to smooth out the creases, to spit out what's left, stitching survivors of my lineage, releasing guilt, to renounce victimhood with unwashed hands, to nurture the map, the refraction of photographs, capturing its betrayal reframed. My body no longer starving, saving my life to answer their prayers. That was really good. That's a good piece. I'm gonna keep going. Thank you. Okay. Also, like, these are supposed to be like read one after the other. So this is like a trilogy that's happening. I can't remember if I said that or not, so I'm gonna keep going. So this is part 2. Oh. I've always been described as an extension of someone else, deteriorating to protect them because it's simpler. My unraveling unseen. My identity is housing every narcissist gutting me. I was planted to uproot myself, question my safety without belief that the child within me and I, for each of our shadows, every thorn, the rubble we are sprouting from, every spore, scattering to bloom without us are deserving of peace, without being the first body surrendering a sacrifice. Duct tape. Wrapped around the broken pipeline, conceal another ashtray he refuses to admit he's repurposed. He'll never apologize. He blames me. The erosion of adhesive, a split connection, trauma still hissing from the pressure of an entire bloodline, strung to the same fix, my father, their cigarette left burning. I will never hold my innocence again. Withdrawing the fragile silhouette I choke on, the exhale, distance between spark, it's a filter. Learning I am not enough to clear the smoke. Absolve its ashes alone, to hold space for failure, to doubt everything and grieve with some chance I will make it. Can you call it off now? Just wait a second. The peak of rejection. Replacing my spine with her lungs. Carry her fraying timeline to justify my survival, a failing band-aid. Parentified child, power of attorney, the tank's half empty, pulling the plug with fists too loose to untangle every injection, hazardous to my veins. My mother birthing another tragedy, the residue in my palms, the labor of her breath of my womb released. Her memories prescribe my flashbacks by gaslight. Her antibodies name me appendage. We atrophy together. My spirit aches. Once we bury her, it will all be over. I'll have lost my last excuse to heal. I've always been described as duct tape, wrapped around the peak of rejection, an extension of the broken, replacing someone else. My spine, pipeline, deteriorating to conceal another ashtray with her lungs, protect them, because he refuses to carry her. It's simpler to admit he repurposed her fraying timeline to justify my unraveling. He'll never apologize. My survival unseen. He blames me, a failing band-aid. My identity is the erosion of adhesive, parentified, housing a split child, power every connection, trauma of attorney, narcissist still hissing from the tanks half empty, gutting me, the pressure of pulling the plug. I was planted to uproot an entire bloodline with fists too loose to untangle myself. Strung to the same fix, every question, my father, another injection, hazardous to my safety. Cigarette left my veins without burning my belief that I will mother the child within me. Never birthing another tragedy, and I hold the residue for my innocence in my palms again, for each of our shadows, withdrawing the labor of her breath, every thorn, the fragile silhouette of my womb, the rubble I choke on released. We are the exhale her memories prescribe, starting distance between my flashbacks from spark to filter by gaslight, every spore, learning I am not her antibodies, scattering enough to name me, to clear the smoke, absolve its appendage, bloom without ashes, we atrophy. Us, alone, together are deserving of peace, to hold space for my spirit, aches, failures, without being the first to doubt everything. Once we bury her body and grieve, it will all be over. Surrendering with some chance, I will have lost my last excuse to sacrifice. I will make it to heal. Whew. Damn, these are intense. Also, I apologize. My pets are probably gonna make noise. They're gonna chew on shit. Also, okay, like, I have this, and if you see me spray, it's not abuse. I looked it up. You just have to look up like spray bottle discipline for bunnies. It's just like they chew on shit, and like if I don't spray them, they're gonna die. Like they're gonna eat shit and then die. So I'm sorry if that happens. You don't need to see that, but you will probably. I'm gonna go to the next one. Am I doing okay on time? I feel like I've been talking for 8 years. Oh my god.
You're doing great.
Okay. I'm sorry for that weird noise. Oh, I was trying to move things and then I undid my video. That's my bad. Oh my god, shit is falling. Okay, I shouldn't move now. Okay, I'm gonna read this piece now. Actually, I'm gonna wait and see if my fucking bunny goes into the crinkle tunnel, because if she goes into the crinkle tunnel, I might as well just fucking hold a paper bag and just fucking. Are you going? Have you made a choice? Okay. She turned around. She's probably gonna do it the second I start. This bitch. Okay. I'm gonna do the poem. Now the one wants to drink water. Can you hear that? Is that fucking? You know what? I'm gonna just do it. I'm just gonna do it. Stress myself out. Okay, I'm doing the poem now. Okay. Doing it. The hierarchy of blood. To respect my sister like a second mother. She convinces the first to stay away from my graduation, resenting me for escaping to find a home. What she doesn't have, come on. What she doesn't have will never belong to me, to anyone. It's only fair. But I watch her make the choice to deny, liberating us from the indignation, the portrait of her honor, the cycle she's convinced I've given birth to. Elders are gifts, the offerings taken for granted. My cousin leaves the fruit of her labor to nourish me. Here, through every orchard I got lost in. I didn't know I needed to create a family that felt safe to come back to. In the closet, the fallen petals no one invited to revive, to treasure the facade of candy wrappers circling disorder, determination, the healing slowly unraveling her freedom. Guiding our young, In muscle memory, guardians of different branches from the same tree to keep blooming. In acid rain, misplaced, replenishing ourselves to forgive without her. My child is a blessing. I came out to loop swoop and pull her shoes to my innocence. Scuffed, a once perfect soul. I forgot I left every generation behind me to follow their footsteps. The untrampled blossom I watered, becoming the next ancestor to blame. To guide the youngest. Rewritten, replanting my roots in unfamiliar soil. My nephew, sapling and blue nail polish. Orange markers to make up for the girl playing dress up, repeating, Mama, I'm beautiful, to affirm it. Celebrating its finality. Discover refuge in his smile. Hand-me-downs laid to rest in my pockets before him. I pray for his promise, returning the oxygen I lost for the cartography of hope. The hierarchy of blood. Elders are gifts guiding our young to guide the youngest, to respect the offerings taken for granted and muscle memory rewritten. My sister, like my cousin, guardians of different branches, replanting my roots a second mother, leaves from the same tree in unfamiliar soil. She convinces the fruit of her labor to keep blooming. My nephew, the first to nourish me, in acid rain, sapling and blue nail polish to stay here. Through misplaced orange markers away from every orchard I got lost in, replenishing ourselves to make up for my graduation. I didn't know I needed to forgive the girl resenting me for escaping to create a family without her, playing dress up to find a home that felt safe. My child repeating what she doesn't have to come back to is a blessing. Mama, I'm beautiful will never belong in the closet. I came out to affirm it. To me, to anyone, fallen petals, loop, swoop, and pull, celebrating its finality. It's only fair. No one invited her shoes to discover refuge. But I watch her revive my innocence in his smile. Make the choice to treasure scuffed hand-me-downs, to deny the facade of a once perfect soul laid to rest, liberating us from the candy wrappers I forgot I left in my pockets, the indignation circling every generation before him, the portrait of disorder behind me. I pray for her determination to follow his, honor the healing their footsteps promise. The cycle, slowly unraveling, the untrampled blossom I watered, returning the oxygen I lost. She is convinced I've given birth to her freedom, becoming the next ancestor to blame for the cartography of hope. That's my set. I'm gonna...
Gang, 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 gang. Oh my God. I am a complete slut for contrapuntals. I don't know if we've had this conversation before, but like, I only have like one and it's pretty bad, but I love it when other people do them. I loved your set, but like, I'm interested about this book. So like, you know, tell us more. When can we expect a pre-sale link?
You were supposed to expect it last year, but then my mom died. So it got like paused with the next batch of books that's being produced. And I'm ahead of the crowd for once. So whenever their books is done, my book is done. Probably. Did I finish it? Probably I finished it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. And you said March 2023?
Did I say that? I don't remember. I just assume it's gonna be 2023.
Oh no, it says 2023. I can't read. And I'm actually like Donald Trump or Leah Michelle, as in there's a teleprompter in front of me. And well, that actually doesn't help because I still can't read. There's somebody mouthing the words. Tino's in the background mouthing what I'm supposed to be saying. And I'm just looking up at him every once in a while. That's why you see me look up, because I'm looking at my prompter telling me what to say because I cannot read. Thank you so much for featuring. If you're ever in California, if you ever want to cross out of Canada and into hell, you know, if you ever want to just leave your rights at the border, we would love to feature you at Berkeley Slam in person. Or at Poetry Garden or something like that. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Wow. So we had an amazing feature, and now we have round 2. Whew. So before we begin round 2, like I said to Sulva, and like I said earlier in the night, I can't read. And I got confused because I think my computer might have frozen and scores got delayed or whatever, and I misread the scores and skipped Kelsey's scores and read them out as walks between world scores. So I need to correct that really quickly. So Kelsey Daniels got a 27.9. Fuck the scores. Poet. Fuck the scores, love the poet. And then Walks Between Worlds got a 27.4. Fuck the scores. It's all about the poet, not the point. I feel like fucking Steve Harvey, but like more attractive and with less intimidating facial hair.
Don't you ever compare yourself to that Mr. Clean motherfucker.
Did you say Mr. Clean? I needed that, but also didn't expect that specific analogy. But he looks like Mr. Clean, or he looks like Mr. Clean if he dressed like everybody's 40-year-old lesbian black auntie. And that's like a vibe, and I love that for him, but I could not accept that for me, and I shouldn't accept that for me. So yeah. All right, we have a round 2. So we took the top 5 poets from round 1 into round 2. There was a tie for 5th place, so we took the top 6 poets. If you
We did?
Huh?
I did not give you the 6th poet.
I thought you said there was a tie for 5th place.
I'd ask you what should we do. Let me just add the name on there.
Damn, I don't get shit.
Okay. 1 second. It's the same list, but you just gotta add one more name.
Okay. While we're waiting for the scores, who's our feature for next month? Feature is Diana Harris. Ooh, I'm really excited for this feature as well. Damn. Is there a show this Saturday too? Oh my God. Oh my God, there is a show this Saturday. It is the Alchemy Open Mic via Instagram at Rich Oak Alchemy. There's no feature, it's all open mic. You can sing, you can dance, you can awkwardly stare at the host for 3 minutes. And I mean, that would be creepy, and please don't kill anybody, but like, you could totally do that. Sulva, oh, I forgot to announce Sulva's score. Sulva got a 1 million. So, not dollars though, God, I wish. You get $1 million, you get $1 million. Everybody gets $1 million, and I have our list, finally, Jesus. All right, so the list shall be in this order. We have Walks Between, and this is in reverse order of appearance. This is not in like score order, if that makes sense. So we have Walks Between Worlds, then we have Kelsey Daniels, then we have Dawn, then we have Colin, then we have Chardonnay and Nicole, Tracy. Lit. Okay. All right. Boom. That means we're just gonna slide into this. We're not gonna get a that's what she said. We're not gonna get into another sacrifice. We're gonna go straight into the second round. So judges, hold on to your butts. Because on deck we have Kelsey Daniels, but give maximum love for the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Walks Between Worlds.
Check.
We
can hear you.
I'm putting my soul in drive, never in reverse. Inspiration comes in bursts. The only Native American face, and I shouldn't be the fucking first. I shouldn't be the one who's paving roads and paving waves. I've been depraved of my language and gifted lacerations on my wrist. I'm a man at a time because most of my audience believes my people no longer exist. Like I'm cryogenically encased in a frozen block that took my voice and talent to talk, the bright red road that I'm destined to walk. But I escaped the device, causing discomfort and breaking the ice. I shouldn't be the one to continue the charge when others are choosing a halt, waking up to a new world after spending 20 years in the vault, just to rise to tell America to teach actual history as well as your faults, exposing the open flesh to the salt. I shouldn't be the one who ventured out to find his people all by his lonesome, looking for a mother, a grandma, my Aina, my Kokum. I'm not a leader. I'm not flawless like an amethyst. I'm not a savior. I didn't choose to be an activist. Yet here I stand on stolen land. I simply fight for what I feel is right with a clenched up hand. I'm not asking you to adore me because I found my self-worth and no one can buy or afford me. I became strong with what I resented. We're underrepresented, dealing with stereotypes that are hidden like door 1, 2, or 3. I can't sit and wait for a leader. I'm impatient, so fuck it, it might as well be me. But I feel like I shouldn't be the one being who walks between many worlds, who was lucky to find such an intelligent girl. I have a voice. I'm not a hero. I do what I must because it's my duty to make the points. There is no alternative. There is no other choice. I must flood the scene. I must cause the spill. I must wet the quill because if I don't, then who will? I want my people to take that burning hatred of what made them vengeful and mold it into limitless potential. I want them to have nature, to have a moment in life to be comfy. I live for their successes, yet people ask if I get that Indian money. It's blissful misguidance in every outsider's memory. Even if this cash was available, I wouldn't ask for a single penny. From my faction, I shouldn't be the one, the fighting grandson whose family been missing in action, erased by blankets full of pathogens. Yet I laugh when they call me primitive. I laugh when they call me a savage, because your animosity only exposes your pain and your baggage. So call your therapist and scream for a medic. I will never be frozen again just to be some old relic. I shouldn't have to rise to settle old scores, but we've lost mentors and someone must take or make a stand. It shouldn't be me, but regardless, I'm in front raising my hand because I'm in the market to become a target at the top of a list. It shouldn't be me, but I'm here for my relations to assist. And it gives me bliss when I miss and die. I'll be satisfied that my ancestors exist. Proud of me for engaging in every healthy risk with spiritual authority, trying to be a voice to my people, the forgotten minority.
Yay. Yay. Give it up for walks between worlds. All right. We are gonna keep it moving. All gas, no brakes on deck. We have done. We'll give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Kelsey Daniel.
Y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
So when I was in 5th grade, I was standing outside my classroom with this boy that I had the biggest crush on decided to come and talk to me loudly. He decided this would be the perfect time to point out my big ass belly, how it was much larger than my breasts, except he wore breasts because he was only in 5th grade. But his comedic timing was well beyond his years. The whole class erupted. They laughed and he laughed. And if I were white, I probably would have turned cherry red. Instead, I tried to turn wall, inched ridiculously close to it, thinking if I perpetrated hard enough, eventually the structure would have to accept me as one of its own, and I would be relieved of the burden of being seen. I'd be free of the reality of having to be here. This was the start of my obsession with slipping into oblivion. Nowadays, oh, you're gonna know that a bitch is here. And worse than seeing the skin, then I come with an instruction manual on how to love its contents, and I'm doing all right. I'm no longer an accomplice from those unable to see my light, and I'm getting used to life in this here reality, and won't you celebrate with me? This luscious ass stomach that mimics Jello whenever I let her rock his chuckle, my giggle, as we're giving away my presence. Much like my present form, I'm not really hard to miss. And ain't none of me hard to love. Choosing myself isn't always easy. You can't self-esteem out of fat phobia. And to making doctors believe you're actually in pain or having employers honor your access means this world has chosen a contentious relationship with my body. And I revoke consent's message. It is illegal to shout fire in a crowded room when there is none, but I have a secret. Y'all want to hear it? I have a secret. Y'all want to hear it? It is not unlawful to be fire when you just are. So I just blaze. just exist unapologetically, allow the present of my presence to be fully received because I ain't got no muffin top. I'm the whole damn cake, how God it is. To see abundance where others find void. To call this body good, even if it's unobservable to others. So I call myself both. Name myself everything. Celebrate baby Kelsey, her big ass belly for lasting, and how sweet it is to finally be loved by me. My best self is loud. Laughter spilling out like secrets that refuse to be hidden any longer. My best self is belly puffed and love with this jiggly ass existence. My best self is living and loving this moment right now, offering grace, denying shame to all of the negative self-talk demons that still be trying to convince us that I don't deserve to be here. I am always remembering that I was never the decorative wallflower. I am always a motherfucking mural. I am already here, and I am so grateful to see me.
Gang, 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 gang. Give it up one more time for Kelsey Daniels. Woo. All right, do I have my scores? Walks Between Worlds got a 27.2. Fuck the scores, give it up for the poet and never the points. The poet and never the points. All right, on deck we have Colin, but give maximum love for the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Dawn.
There's long since been a rumor that queer people don't know how to fight, that the rainbow gene makes us submissive, that gay male hands cannot form fists, stay limp, like the switch in their hips, although women try to be men. No amount of testosterone will make a man out of them, and if you cannot pick between the two, you simply cannot throw hands. One thing is true, I do not like to fight, but I will whoop your motherfucking ass if I have to. I'm sorry sexuality and physicality has confused you, so allow me to reintroduce myself. Since birth, I've been haymaker and homophobes. Let the world know these hands are sticks and stones with any word, like boxy boy fruity faggot leaves loose slips that these hands ain't always been sniper ready. More toy soldier, because pummeling identity was more important than a black boy existing in a world that wanted to erase him out of it. I've dealt with cafeteria conversation about my sexuality, been jumped, been the talk of the town, learn quickly as we black and queer in America, so don't fight like the cracks of your hands, no knuckle sandwiches, taste more penny than ham, that my black must be strong enough to box out race. I think I'm as fragile as straight people who would like me to reflect Jesus on the cross, bloody and bruised, that to be black and queer in America, to never know who is fighting for you or waiting to jump in, that my black may one day take part in the beating, so my queer must be strong enough for the both of us, so these hands are gonna be backbone and bone breaker for too long. Have you seen queer people attacking hordes by people that try to make sense of something that has nothing to do with them? Fighting fairly, voice opinion. If the gag is, I've seen enough videos on Worldstar to know that straight people will get the shit knocked out of them. For so many Jesus warriors, you do not remember what happened to Goliath. That the bigger you are, the harder you'll kiss pavement. This poem speaks a stone wall right, because these hands are brick and mortar, no gays that do hand nails and makeup, which should let y'all niggas know they are good with their hands. See lesbians come in all different sizes, multiple ways for them to break fragility in the palms of their hands without breaking a nail. No trans individuals that turn insults into boxing gloves. Say mama ain't raised no bitch, she raised a punk. Just make sure when I fuck you up, none of your friends jump in. I'm here to tell you that we might have sugar in our tank, but boy, we finna raise your blood sugar. This poem ain't no warning shot. We ain't sending no signals. We ain't waiting for no allies to come and save us, because we have always saved ourselves. So it will simply be on site, because we will not be another punching bag left battered and bruised. Will not be added to the high kill count of non-binary and black trans individuals every year, because y'all say they ain't woman enough to be a woman or man enough to be a man. These hands, they here to tell you we are not going down without a fight. So you better try Jesus, motherfucker, before you ever try me.
Gang, 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 gang. Give it up one more time for Dawn. All right. Do I have scores? And Kelsey Daniels got a 29.1. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poetry. Never the points. The poetry. And never the points. All right, on deck, we have Chardonnay. But give maximum love for the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Colin.
Can you hear me?
Indeed.com.
The cops follow the buses at night on the north side because the mayor refuses to send city property into the hood unprotected. Protection is, of course, for the worthy, and this bus is a service even to the niggas. And the badge says, can't they see we doing them a favor? We're just protecting you from yourselves. Ain't this bus your ride? It's like these niggas don't want our help, and us niggas are too busy placing flowers by the roadside to notice. There are no words a grieving tongue can speak, so these lilies are the only thing that we have to say, we miss you. Down the block, candles are relit. Liquor is poured out for the dead homies. These streets are drunk tonight. Belly warm with blood and cognac, these streets drink dark liquor. Says it tastes sweeter. Ain't got much bite to it. Goes down smooth, so I could always take another shot, and that's all niggas seem to do around here. Is kill and plant flowers, so we must be gangster gardeners. Green thumb on one hand and trigger finger on the other, because all niggas do around here is shoot and mourn, keep 9 tucked close and head on the swivel through the darkness, shed a tear for those who won't live to see the daylight, 'cause these streets are deadly silent on a night like this. The stillness only disturbed by the sound of diesel engine roaring down the concrete. Its escort flashes blue and red. A warning to the block saying, don't you bring all that death around here.
Gang. Gang, gang. Gang, gang. Gang, 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 gang. Give it up for Colin. Woo. And for reference, Don got a 28.2. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet, never the points. The poet, and never the points. All right, we are almost to the end of our list because on deck we have the last poet of the night, Nicole Tracy. But give maximum love to our penultimate poet. Give it up for Chardonnay.
A contrapuntal with a childhood assault trigger warning. As a child, I swallowed a seed and planted it in my throat to choke on my words. Underwater rules, sea, yell, oh sky, no reach or control of my mouth and lungs. The truth, it's not the first plant I nurtured myself, groomed. Does it matter that the seeds were forced in my mouth I swallowed? A child, hiding whispers, my voice disappeared. Seeds filling emptiness, forcing deeper. And by the time I noticed the thorns, I was already swallowing more seeds and phlegm and spitting vines splitting out, a parasite silencing my voice. I played in a secret garden. The sky turned my stomach in, out, watching me bear. This is part of the game, the flower exposed. Sun paints yellow sky, teeth spreading a secret in front of me, smiling. That was the joke. If I laugh too, I'm not alone. The seeds growing in me, more come, follow when I leave the garden, secrets. I think I know why I was embarrassed now. Spit it out, but full, unshakable seeds. Confessions of evil deeds are a fairy tale. It's just the game. Too full to speak, swallowing my words to hide blood, exposing myself, the first wound I remember. As a child, I played in a secret garden. I swallowed a seed and the sky turned my stomach, planted it in my throat, in, out, watching me bear. This is to choke on my words, part of the game. Underwater rules, see the flower exposed. Sun paints yellow sky, no reach or control of teeth spreading a secret. My mouth and lungs in front of me, smiling. That was the truth. It's not the joke. If I laugh too, I am not the first plant I nurtured myself alone. The seeds growing in me groomed, more come. Does it matter that the seeds follow when I leave the garden? Secrets were forced in my mouth. I think I know why I swallowed. A child, hiding, was embarrassed, now spit it out in whispers. My voice disappeared, but full, unshakable seeds, confessions of evil deeds are filling emptiness, forcing a fairy tale deeper. And by the time I notice it's just the thorns, I was already the game. Too full to speak, swallowing my words to hide blood, more seeds and phlegm and exposing myself. Spitting vine, splitting out the first wound, a parasite silencing. I remember my voice. Thank you.
Gang, 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 gang. And for reference, Colin got a 27.7. Give it up for the poet and never the point. All right, on deck, we have figuring out who won this moolah. But give maximum love to your last poet of the night. Give it up for Nicole Tracy.
Mic check.
We can hear you.
Content warning for sexual assault. I don't remember when or why I noticed you, just that I did. I am 12 and way too into Twilight because all of my friends are too. I'm sure I would describe us meeting as magnetic. Magnets operate based on attraction and repulsion. Attraction, you are a year older and think I'm cute. Outside force, my friends say we are adorable and push us together. Attraction, I think every fight with my mother is the end of the world and we listen. I feel seen, I feel heard, I feel loved. Repulsion, you move on to high school and I spend every day counting down until we are together again. And I resent you for enjoying high school. Attraction, I see you once a week for an hour and it is the best hour ever until repulsion. Now it's not. You casually bring up more than kissing and I am afraid of the way my own body develops. Attraction, I am labeled the cool girlfriend and think this means your friends like me. Attraction, my mother thinks you are the perfect first boyfriend. Outside force, I will be going to the same high school as you. I take this to mean a sign from the universe and plan college and first apartment and marriage and kids. Attraction, I can finally see you every day. Well, school days at least, and your friends know me. Repulsion, my friends do not know you. Repulsion, you tell me your friends ask if we are having sex. You ask me to lie and say, yes, you are the envy of high school. Outside force, the Jesus freak in my gym class finds out, calls me a slut, and this becomes my reputation. Easy A has just come out and I want to be just like Olive Pendergast. Attraction, I like the way it feels when we kiss and hands wander. Repulsion, I do not like myself much afterwards. Repulsion, you tell me one of your best friends lost their virginity. Period. Attraction, you tell me you want me to be your first, and I call this romantic. Attraction, you buy condoms, we make a plan. It's awkward and uncomfortable, but I have no regrets. Repulsion, it does not feel good. You tell me it does. Attraction, you tell me we have so much time to figure it out, so there is no pressure. Outside force, you didn't mean it when you said you had patience. Repulsion, God, I hope I never see you again. Repulsion.
Woo!
Gang. All right. Give it up one more time for Nicole Tracy. Can I get Chardonnay scores? No, you did. No. All right, and for reference, Chardonnay got a 28.0. Fuck the scores, give it up for the poet and never the points. All right, while I am waiting for the rest of the scores, let me tell you about the other shows that we run in the Bay Area. Of course, every third Tuesday, right here on Zoom, we have the Oakland Poetry Slam. You can check out Oakland Slam on Instagram for more information. For reference, Nicole got a 26.4. Fuck the scores, give it up for the poet, never the points. Let's see. Every Wednesday at the Starry Plow in Berkeley is the Berkeley Poetry Slam. Who's our feature this week?
Jose Jimenez.
Our feature this week is Jose Jimenez. I'm really gonna have to give it up to our fucking booking team. They're like booking some really good people. Let's see. Can I get first place?
I'm working on it.
Okay, we're still working on first place.
There you go.
You didn't give me a name. You just gave me a score. Love that for us. So Berkeley Slam every Wednesday. Check out Berkeley Slam on Instagram for more information. There's the Alchemy open mic every first and third Saturday via Instagram. You can check out Rich Oak Alchemy for more information, or you can go to richoakevents.org and learn about all of these shows on our website, richoakevents.org. Now that I've done my shout outs, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, so there is a tie, but it's for second place. And since we only give out prize money to first place for Oakland Slam, it doesn't fucking matter. But I'm still going to announce this tie and treat it like it's like a big thing, because it's actually like really fucking cute. Because they're married. And tied for second place with both with a 56.5. Give it up for Chardonnay and the Colin.
Amari's keeping it.
That is hilarious.
No, because we literally had a bet. Whoever won, whoever did better than the other gets to choose our last name.
So it looks like you're letting God choose. Or you can let
you're
Kelsey choose your last name. I
hyphenating.
don't know.
You know, the plan was initially to hyphenate, but like, what if we combined our names into camera? What if we combined our names into Edmonds? Which kind of sounds like Christmas, and I think that's adorable.
I just want to
I love Christmas.
Okay.
Colin wants some silly shit, but
Colin wants some silly shit. You want to be realistic. That's cute. Power couple. Power fucking couple.
50
wow.
Cent could never.
50 Cent.
Yeah, because he's the creative power. On Stars.
Yeah.
Stop. That was a stretch.
Probably.
Like, I'm glad you do yoga, but you didn't have to stretch like that. Lit. Thank you so much, Colin and Shar. And that means in first place with a 57.0, winning 50 whole, I hope, are American digital dollars. Give it up for Kelsey Daniel. You're gonna say to the people.
Yeah, this is dope. Thank you. I also just want to say my background is blurred. I didn't realize I had that. I'm like in the middle of a weird ass vibe that I didn't think I was going to be in. I was supposed to be on a plane right now, but instead I'm in a hotel in Louisiana with my feet in the pool. So this is a really lovely into a really shitty day.
Ooh.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Sorry about that hotel situation.
Sorry about the hotel situation and the flights. Flying has been weird lately. So I hope that gets better. Thank you so much, Kelsey and Shar and Colin and Nicole and Don and Walk Between Worlds and like every single person who touched this stage tonight. Thank you, Sulva, for the beautiful feature. And thank you, Mom, my mother, for giving birth to me and thus giving birth to greatness. Wow, this has been a wonderful night. If you were so inspired to sign up, you can sign up next month for our next Oakland Poetry Slam featuring Diana A. Harris. Lit. The night is over, but I mean, you can feel free to do whatever you want in your own home. My name is Reggie. I have been your host, and we will see you next month for another Oakland Slam. Bye.
Bye. That is off, partner.